Well, the horse parachutes are failing. Well, I got to tell Derek we're canceling the weekend. They're recalling all the horse parachutes. Oh, hi kid, how you doing? You're home early. What's wrong? You look a little bit distressed. They're ruining your favorite high fantasy series? Well, what's wrong with Lord of the Rings? I thought you liked Rings of Power. Oh, you hated everything about it. What about that new Lord of the Rings game that's coming out? You like that, don't you? What's it called? Tales of the Shire? What's wrong with it? Huh. Well, that's too bad. I thought it was going to be real good. You know, I really like the Tales of Destiny games, and I thought they were doing a crossover, but I guess that's not what it is. Oh, look, don't be upset about it. I mean, sure, okay, you don't get to read stories about your favorite elven archers anymore, but, well, that's a real shame your favorite fantasy story is ruined. I guess if you don't get to play your favorite elven archers anymore, it's probably time for you to learn real archery. Yeah, I know, I could tell things were pretty rough earlier this week, so I got you that bow that you've been asking for, and I hope it's the right one. I hope you like it. It just got delivered, and I guess we can unbox it and take a look at it now. So, I know you had that mishap with the scissors earlier, so I took the liberty of just cutting that for you to make it a little easier. So let's go ahead and set this up, and I can teach you a little bit about how to set up and shoot your bow. So I guess if you can't do fantasy archery, you'll have to settle for real archery instead. Now it comes with this really nice bow stringer, which helps you string your bow, and we can talk about that a little later. But we'll look at the important parts here, which we'll set this aside and I'll explain that. The important parts will be the limbs here. Let's go ahead and take these out of the plastic, and I'll just quickly show you how to put them on. Now, the top and the bottom limbs are actually different. The bottom limb is actually longer than the top limb, slightly, so you'll have to keep track of that and make sure you match up the shapes accordingly. You'll see it on the bow. It's pretty easy to get right. Let's go ahead and have a look. We have the bolts, which we use to attach, and the bowstring. Then we have the riser. This is the body of the bow. Check this out. That's a pretty cool blue one, isn't it? Now this is Top Archery. It's a pretty good entry-level brand, so it's good for starting out with and just learning your skills. So we'll open this little box here, take out these little bolts, and we'll just quickly attach the limbs. So you'll see we have these here in Allen key. And let's have a quick look at the bow. You'll see that the shape is a little bit different, so the bottom one shouldn't end up in the wrong spot. Let's go ahead and put the bottom limb in place first. Now you can hand knurl this first just to make sure you get that in there nice and easy. You don't have to worry about the Allen key until you get to the very end where it tightens up a little bit. So go ahead and hand knurl that. Now you'll want to tighten that up with the Allen key, and you don't want to destroy it. You don't want to put it too tight. Just make it tight enough so it's not wobbling around in there. Now I got you this nice dark blue bow. I know you kids these days like to monotype on your elements. This one is actually a 50-50 split between water and ice, and I thought it would be better for you to learn on a dual typing bow. So the color of the bow does actually affect the element of the arrows that you're shooting, and I thought it would be good for you to try at least and see if you prefer the water or ice. So I hope that's all right that it's not a monotype bow for you here. Now we'll go ahead and get this set up. There are a couple parts that are missing from the bow, but we can sort that out a little bit later. So we'll take our string here, and we do have to put some twists in it. You do also need bow wax, so it looks a little funny like that, but we'll put a couple twists in it, and that will tighten it up a little bit. So we just want to make sure that we get them put on the right side up. Now you'll want to see which loop is bigger, and the bigger loop will actually sit down and it will slide down the limb easily. You'll want to seat the bottom loop on the bottom limb just like there. So the bottom limb is always seated fully and the top limb slides down. We'll go ahead and grab your bow stringer there. You'll see there is a pouch. So we'll use the pouch here and hold the pouch just in place like that. And this will sit on the inside, just like this. We don't want it to loop around. Let's make sure it's not looped around. Go ahead and sit that in there. Now what you'll want to do is step down on the stringer. And you want to hold this in place. As you hold this in place, the tension will hold it in place. Now you want to take your thumb and your pointer, keep them on the edge, and you will slide the loop up until it clips up into there. So let's go ahead, again, hold the stringer in place, step down on the string, and apply pressure. You will see that you'll want to push this as far that way as you can so you don't stress this part of the limb. Once that's in there, go ahead and tighten that in place, just like that. And that will hold the bow just in place, like that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some shooting techniques.
We will start out our lesson, but first we'll put on our guard for our shelf and our scratch plate. You'll see this is synthetic fur. It protects the bow from being scratched, but also provides a smooth surface upon which the arrow can travel. You see the scratch plate on the back there will prevent the bow from being scratched. Those parts will be replaced over time as they wear out. This is our nocking point. It will ensure that the arrow is seated on the string at the exact same place every single time. Here we have our arm guard. Now it may be clumsy to set that on your arm and attach the buckles, so I recommend attaching all the buckles first and then sliding your arm into the arm guard. That makes it easier. This item will protect the string from hitting your arm. If you don't have an arm guard, you are likely to hit yourself with the string and give yourself some welts. This is the glove. This is extremely important. It protects your fingers from the string. Otherwise, as you release the string, it will rip your fingerprints off. So these develop over time. They develop a groove and they allow you to seat the string in your fingers the exact same place every single time. Here we have a quiver. This is a modern style with a little hook that can sit onto your pants or your pocket, and it holds your arrows in place. You have 3 sections here, so you can separate if you have special trick arrows or elemental arrows. Here you will see the odd feather. We will have the odd feather facing outward, as you can see here. We will be shooting a style today, the Mediterranean style, with 2 fingers under, 1 string over. You see I've seated the arrow above the nocking point. That's how I shoot. Some people knock their arrow under. It just depends on how they prefer to shoot. There are a number of different shooting styles for archery, but what matters is that your fundamentals are correct. Despite what style of shooting, you just need to make sure you have the right fundamentals and you can shoot however you want. What is important with archery is your shot process. You want to make sure that whatever you are doing is the exact same thing every single time. I shoot the instinctive way that was taught to me by my father figure, and from him, from the friends of Howard Hill, who learned from Native Americans in the Americas. So, swing, draw, and release. 3 easy steps. I can go more over this process in another conversation at another time, but you see I swing the bow, draw it, and release it. I don't take the time to aim after I have drawn the bow, as I have aimed at the target before I've even drawn the bow. I look at the target and I'm already certain of what I'm looking at, and I just bring the bow up. Again, I follow my shot process. I swing the bow up, I draw. The swinging and drawing, you can see, can be one fluid motion altogether. As I swing the bow up, I draw. As I release the arrow, I make sure I don't squeeze the bow. I just want to support the bow. I hold the bow in place. This is called follow through. You just want to make sure that you don't jerk the bow and it ends up throwing your arrow off upon release. So I just support the bow as it hits the target. You want to make sure that your anchor point is the exact same every single time. I bring my middle finger to my bottom right canine, and as soon as you touch your anchor point, you should be sure that every step that you have taken up to this point is the exact same every single time. Again, that is your shot process. So I swing the bow up, I draw, and that is it.
Well, kid, I hope you enjoyed your first archery lesson, and there are your tips for sorting out your equipment. Sorry about your favorite fantasy thing getting ruined, but since you can't do fantasy archery, here's a real one. Enjoy. Take care and be safe out there. Now remember, never dry fire the bow. That means don't pull the string back and release it without an arrow. That will release undue stress on the limbs, so only fire this if you have an arrow seated on the string. Remember, don't dry fire. Take care of yourself, kid. I'll see you around. Oh, hey, thanks for stopping by. Good to see you. So, what's going on with the games industry is that we are hearing reports that Warner Bros. Has reportedly lost $200 million on their live service game Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. This game is developed by Rocksteady and it's published by Warner Bros. Games. So I'm not here to pile on the game and attack it or criticize it, and I absolutely don't want to criticize anyone who has enjoyed the game, but I'm just genuinely interested as to why people don't like the game. I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments as to why you didn't like the game, or if you did like it, you know, I'm interested in hearing that, because I haven't played it myself, but I've seen that it has really nice graphics. It's got a ton of different alts for the characters. It has a storyline. So I don't see why people wouldn't like it. It's got diversity, equity, inclusion, so I just don't understand why the game is failing, but it seems as though Warner Brothers will be shutting the game down. They're closing down the servers. They've added an offline mode, which is pretty neat. If the game is still $5, I'll check after I upload this video, and if it's still $5, I might pick it up just to see. But it turns out that they're shutting the game down. They're issuing their final update, so there will be no more updates. So that's a bummer. I don't like seeing games fail, but I do understand that it's important to understand why games fail so that we can improve, so that we can do better, so that if we are making things that people don't like, then we can say, all right, well, we'll do better, we'll improve, we'll make something that people will enjoy. And it's a bummer to see games in this space fail, because I really like superheroes. Playing these games is supposed to make you feel like a superhero. Because Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is just not an interesting game to me, it's just boring. I don't have anything to add that conversation, and I would rather discuss something that would be interesting and helpful to you. But I like these games because they make you feel like having superpowers. Do you want to feel like you have superpowers? You know what's basically a superpower? Archery. You can learn archery. Basically anyone can do archery. I've been to shooting tournaments where an archer only had one arm. He just had his left arm and he used his teeth to draw back the string, and he was shooting well. So basically almost anyone can do archery. And if you want to learn that, that's basically a superpower. You want to see what you can do with archery? There are many forms and styles of archery. This style of shooting is called instinctive shooting. Instead of holding the arrow back and aiming for a long period of time, the entire process of aiming at a target is already finished by the time the arrow is drawn. This is ideal for hunting at close range, but it is not appropriate for target shooting, during which you would shoot dozens of arrows. This is a diverse activity with history and origins from all around the world. There is so much to learn. Today, I will explain the instinctive style of archery that was passed down through Native Americans, made popular in the mid-1900s through Howard Hill, carried on through his students and friends, and eventually was introduced and passed down to me through my father figure. There are many different ways to shoot a bow. What is most important are the fundamentals. It doesn't really matter how fancy, flashy, fast, or slow your shooting style is, as long as your fundamentals are sound. As long as you have good fundamentals, no matter what style of archery you shoot, you will shoot well and hit your target consistently. If you ignore the fundamentals and focus on style or a rigid, narrow philosophy,
you will not be able to hit your target consistently, and will only hit that target on occasion, just out of pure luck. If you do this, you put yourself at risk of reinforcing harmful and damaging philosophies and practices. You end up trapping yourself in an echo chamber that reinforces bad habits and bad thought practices. So, to prevent that, to ensure you can hit your target consistently, here are the basic fundamentals of archery. There are 3 basic steps to archery. Swing the bow up, draw the bow, release the arrow. Your shot process, or your form, is the physical means by which you swing the bow up, draw the bow, and release. Your shot process should be repeatable consistently. You must not vary or deviate from your shot process. The most important aspect of that shot process is to bring your arrow hand to an anchor point on your face. Ensure that this is the exact same spot every time. For example, I bring my middle finger to my bottom right canine tooth. This ensures consistency. When you release the arrow, you want a smooth, easy, instantaneous release. Don't pluck or roll the string, just let the string smoothly leave your fingers. Your follow-through on your arrow hand should be easy and relaxed. Don't flourish like an elven archer, unless there are orcs nearby. Your bow hand should remain relaxed. Don't clench the bow tightly, as that will cause you to torque the bow and will make arrows go off to the side. Upon releasing the arrow, don't drop the bow. Support the bow and keep it in place until you see or hear your arrow hit the target. Practice your form at a close distance, about 10 yards, for the first few weeks of practicing archery. Keep aiming at the same spot and don't change the spot at which you are aiming. What is important is getting your arrows to group together. If you keep changing your aiming point, you will never group your arrows. After you are able to consistently group your arrows together in a good grouping, you can adjust your aiming point. As long as you maintain good fundamentals and don't deviate from what works, you can shoot any style of archery. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that and this has been useful to you. If you would like to learn archery and would like to ask me more, please feel free to let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the music, you can download that for free if you are a Patreon supporter. So I'll put the link in the description there. And there's a heap of other free things that you can download, and I'm regularly sharing more. You can feel free to use this music as royalty-free however you like in your projects as well. So please feel free to check that out. I made this music just this morning for this video. Okay, thanks for hanging out with me here today. Take care of yourselves and be well. I'll see you next time.